Let's go fishing. Welcome back to the channel. So my mother and my niece, they asked me to take them fishing, so we're just doing another cane pole mullet fishing video. Might do a little cast netting, just see what happens. Stay tuned. Alrighty, we're back out mullet fishing. Got a high tide. Storms are moving over. Supposed to be a 60% chance of rain all day long. We've already had some sprinkling, some lightning. So this is going to be an interesting trip. Probably going to just be a short trip. And just like that, it's starting to rain again. We're going to be dealing with this all day long. But Bill Dance said something, and I do believe it's true. He said there's only 2 times that's really good to go fishing: when it's raining and when it ain't. So there's that. Well, not even 5 minutes after I said that, you know, we're going to have scattered showers. Well, there you go. This one is a little bit bad. Got some lightning, so we're in the truck right now. I'm gonna crank her up, just kind of chill out, and when it passes, we'll be back out. This doesn't stop us. This is life in Florida. They call it Sunshine State, but we actually get more rain than Washington State, so there's that.
Liquid sunshine.
Yeah, liquid sunshine, Mama just said. See you in a minute. Call a little bluegill right there. Yeah. Oh, crud. I have one. Well, Mama's caught a turtle. In state of Florida, you can't keep a turtle or anything called a Fraser turtle virus. So I'm going to go help her get this de-hooked. I'll be right back. One thing about it is I am not a professional at cast netting. I am just getting started. I'm not trying to say that I'm an expert. So understand that. Just trying to untangle my net a little bit. There's a 4-foot gar that's been swimming around here somewhere, so I'm going to be trying to catch him, see what happens. My dad used to say that a blind hog finds an acorn every once in a while, so I'm going to see if I can't throw this cast net. Again, I'm still learning how to do this, but as you can tell, that's a pork chop. That's a fail. Or not even a pork chop, that's a banana. That was mullet over there. Pretty sure I just scared off anything that was going to be here. A little bit better, not much. Yeah, I didn't get anything. That wasn't good either. I suck at cast netting. I don't know if you can see it, but right out there is a gator. He's about 4 foot. Just a small little gator. We used to catch them all the time mullet fishing. Hadn't seen one here in probably 5, 6, 7 years. This is the thing about Florida fishing that you have to be careful of, is that when you're fishing, the gators, they'll charge at your bait, or if you catch fish, whatever, they'll charge at it. We're not feeding this gator. This gator, nobody feeds it, but they're naturally curious, and so you don't want them to get curious over a period of time and get used to people. That's how you get hurt. So we're not trying to harass him or anything of that nature, but it'd be nice if he was a little bit more scared of us than what he is. But he's maintaining his distance. As long as he maintains his distance, we'll be fine. But he's coming closer and closer, checking us out.
Not fishing you.
Savannah's got a croaker.
Is it a croaker?
Spotted croaker.
Might be a catfish.
Savannah's got another croaker.
Hey there. I could have caught a mullet.
Just a regular croaker. Right out in front of us is a huge soft-shell turtle.
I'll catch it if you guys want to see it up close.
Oh, shut up. That is a gorgeous soft-shell turtle.
Wish I could eat it.
Alright, we got a mullet right here. So there's the mullet right there. I got him. Actually, it's very hard to get him right there. Savannah said I hooked him so hard I gave him gangrene. So we're going to try to get a few more of these. Mama has got a blue cat. We got a blue cat here, folks. No, that's channel. Channel cat. Oops. Stay. And I broke my pole in half, sitting on the mullet, and the mullet's still there. Wow, I owe my uncle a pole. But yeah, that's a piece of my pole. That ain't good. A turtle.
Still more than you. Okay, don't break my rod. Put one under it. Just hold it.
That's a soft shell, I think. Yep, it is. All right, let me get mine up and I'll get this off. It's got a little bitty croaker.
I want to take it off.
All right, called a mullet and a brim. Got a shell cracker. So here in the state of Florida, we're deeply concerned about wildlife conservation. Backflip. Alright, so we have our mullet here. If you'll notice, the eyes are clouded over. The reason for that is that I put vinegar in my ice when I'm letting the fish soak to get the slime coat off of them. And so about quarter cup, half cup of vinegar and about 7 pounds of ice and a little bit of water, 7 to 14 pounds of ice, will generally cause the slime coat to come off after about 30 minutes. So, but it does cause this cloudiness. So we're going to butterfly these mullet. I've also got a catfish, and we'll do the catfish a different way. But I'm butterflying these mullet to show how it used to be done back in old Florida, back when most of the 67 counties of Florida did not have a tourist industry, but had a mullet driven industry. And that mullet would not be normally fresh mullet, but would usually be in the form of smoked mullet. And we're going to smoke it the old Florida method, which I've never smoked with this wood that I'm going to be using. It's wax myrtle, also known as bayberry. I've never smoked with this wood, but it's an old historic wood, and they used it to keep away the bugs, because back then refrigeration was an issue. So I'll show you how I used to get these as a child. I'll butterfly them up, we'll smoke them. By then they weren't even using the wood that I'm going to be using. They was using whatever wood they can get a hold of. A lot of times it was mesquite, pecan, or oak. Oak is the common one found in northwest Florida. A lot of people smoke oak because when you soak your wood, and we always smoke in Florida using, or at least us natives, we smoke by soaking the wood in water, and it smolders. And when you use a oak wood that is soaked and it smolders, it gives a more acid-like taste. I know a lot of people in Texas, they like, what? Look, y'all use dry wood. Y'all use aged wood. Y'all do it a different way than we do in Florida. And you're using beef, not fish. So it's totally different. At any rate, YouTube, if you're watching on YouTube, I will not show you how I actually do this, because YouTube has community standards. I can't even call them what they are, because that is considered to be derogatory and I'm in violation of community standards. So at any rate, they don't want you to see anything that they might consider to be gore. And so I'll show you the finished fish when I'm done with them. Because basically they can demonetize me for showing it. If you're watching on Rumble, then you're going to be able to see this step by step. And if you're on YouTube, I will leave my Rumble channel link here, and you can then go over and look at the uncensored Rumble version. Alright, and it's free to watch on Rumble. You don't have to have any type of subscription or anything like that. It's just an alternative to YouTube that allows free speech. I do get paid like YouTube, or in a similar fashion as YouTube. I will do a video one day on that, talking about it. Don't think you're gonna get rich off of Rumble. Rumble is not as popular, and it's like your grandma being in control of things. It's just weird. Everything about it is weird and outdated. But if you watch on Rumble, thank you for watching. At least it gives me the platform to have free speech and to show you this neat stuff. So let's get started. You probably can't tell it, but this water has an oily sheen to it, and it's definitely dark. So what I'm going to do is, this will soak in multiple changings of salt water. And I'll get a spoon and scrape all this stuff out of it. Where I couldn't get it with a knife, I'll just scrape it with a spoon, and as it soaks, it'll come off a lot easier as well. So this will get soaked multiple times, and when the water is pretty much clear, the meat will get whiter and firmer, and then we'll put it onto the smoker, and from there smoke this out, and I'll show you the wood that I'm using and all that. So let's get on with the catfish. I wanted to show you this with the catfish. I've done it before, but I just wanted to show you. This is what the vinegar does. You can just take that right there and just wipe it off with a rag, or you can just spray it off, and that gets rid of all the slime. So if you have a problem with slimy fish, just put about, quarter cup of white vinegar to about 7 pounds of ice. And if you got more fish, you might need to add more vinegar, whatever, and it'll color the eyes up. Don't worry about that. They'll all get cloudy. You can't stop that from happening. It's gonna look like you got old fish. If you're selling it at the market, don't do that. But if you're doing it for private consumption, this will get rid of all that slime, and it won't be slimy anymore either. It'll be almost like a curdled milk. It's almost cheese-like in texture, but it's not slimy, and it's really weird, but it does a great job of getting that slime coat off and making it where a slimy fish is no longer slimy. So I do that a lot with my fish, that especially those that I'm gonna have to get the slime off. I'm gonna scale, or if I'm gonna be using on a smoker, I'll just go ahead and get that slime coat off of it, and that's the easy way that I do it. Looking right now in the trees trying to find a wax myrtle bush to cut down. This right here is sumac, and this is actually a species called winged sumac. So along the stem are these wings, and they you can actually take the shoots, boil them, throw the water off, boil it again. That's called a salad, and it's actually considered tonic with Cherokee people. We also take the berries, and it has a berry lemon-like flavor. Use it to season fish with, and we also use it to make kind of like a lemonade drink called koala. And where this, in the fall instead of late spring, early summer, this will be loaded down with berries, and we'd be gathering this to make our fish dish, but I'm needing some bayberries, so we're looking for that. Eureka, we have found it. You'll notice on the leaves that there's kind of a yellowish golden brown underside, and when you smell it, there is that definite wax myrtle smell. So I'm going to cut some of this down, and we're going to get on. But I will note that anytime that you see wax myrtle, you tend not to see sumac, and anytime you see sumac, you tend not to see wax myrtle. So if you see sumac, might as well keep on moving. There's not going to be wax myrtle in the area. Alright, I got the grill going right there. The coals are nice and hot, and then we got coals there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the catfish on here. It'll cook very quickly, and while it's cooking, I'm going to have some this is nothing more than Chinese tallow wood popcorn tree. I'm going to have a little bit of that to add some smoke. What I've done is took some tin foil, doubled it over, put a little bit of parchment paper. I soaked the catfish in salt water, changed out water twice. I then rinsed it off good, salted on both sides, put McCormick's peppercorn medley grinder. I then laid it on some pats of butter, and then I put pats of butter on top. It looks like a lot of butter, but it's only about maybe 6 pats of butter total. Fish are on the grill. We'll close this up. Alright, so fish are in, popcorn tree is in, temperature's rising to almost 300 degrees Fahrenheit right now. It's now at 300, still going up. You can see smoke coming out of the stacks here. So I'm going to go, because this will cook very quickly, I'm going to go make our Alabama barbecue sauce. It's a white barbecue sauce. Leave it to Alabama. To make the Alabama white barbecue sauce, I'm going to start off with a half cup of mayonnaise. I'm going to add in juice a half a lemon. I'm going to add in 2 teaspoons of dark brown mustard, dark brown sugar, firmly packed. So 2 teaspoons here. Some cayenne pepper taste. This is probably going to be about a quarter of a teaspoon, no more than that. Same thing with salt and pepper. So like I said, probably about a quarter teaspoon of salt, not much, just a little bit to taste. We'll adjust afterwards. And I always use peppercorn medley grinder from McCormick's because it has allspice and coriander along with all the different peppercorns. Like I said, probably about a quarter teaspoon of this. About a teaspoon of onion powder, teaspoon of garlic, teaspoon of rice wine vinegar. You could use white vinegar or apple cider vinegar, but I'm going to use my rice vinegar. I like it better. Teaspoon of Worcestershire sauce, teaspoon of stone ground mustard, and a half teaspoon of horseradish sauce. There is a big divide between people that put horseradish or Worcestershire in it. Some go for more sweet with Worcestershire and more lemon. Other go for no Worcestershire and horseradish. I'm split in the middle here. Now we'll mix this all up and adjust for flavor. I'll add a little bit more cayenne and salt and pepper to this. Add some more salt and cayenne to this. I'll add in some more black pepper or peppercorn medley grinder. I'm also going to add in about a quarter teaspoon of MSG. I did my recipe wrong. I looked at it wrong. It's supposed to be 1 tablespoon of vinegar, not 1 teaspoon. So I put a tablespoon there. That corrected all the flavors. Everything is like it ought to be now. So that we're now ready for our fish. Fish are almost cooked through. I'm going to let them just get a little bit more smoke on them. Alright, I'm pretty good with that. We're going to take it off. It's cooked all the way through. Don't want to overcook it, but I just want to give it a little bit more time to get that smoke on there. Okay, I'm going to cut these leaves off of it so I got pieces I can add to the smoker, and then we'll go from there. So these right here have been soaked about 2 or 3 changings of water, and then I went ahead and patted them dry, salted them after I rinsed them off, salted them again, put some McCormick's peppercorn medley grinder on, and left them like this in the refrigerator to dry out. So that creates a tacky protein membrane that acts like Velcro called pellicle. I've got hot coals, so we're going to kind of put them off of the hot coals a little bit, but where they can get some good smoke, and we're going to put wax myrtle for the wood, and that's going to go in our dip for our midnight snack. Okay, the fish are on, kind of got some coals over here, but more or less the coals here are cold, so there'll be just a little bit of heat but not much. And now we're going to add in our wax myrtle bayberry wood. I've just got a handful of sticks that I cut to size. I'm going to put them into the firebox and let it smoke away. And there we'll go. We'll let this smolder a little bit. Once it gets going good, we'll close her up. Here we go. We'll just let this start smoking. So this is the grilled catfish with Alabama white sauce on top. So we're going to go eat now. Alright, so we're going to check in on the mullet. They're getting there, slowly but surely. I asked my wife what she thought about the catfish. Said the only problem with catfish was there wasn't enough of them. I need to catch more catfish. So be looking forward to a catfishing video soon, because she wants more of that. She's smoking good. It's a low temp smoke. Fish is already cooked through. You know, now we're at a stage where we're just adding tons of flavor, because when we put this in our dip, we want it to be extra smoky. Now this will not get that hickory colored smoke color to it that you normally get. When I was a child, you get a little bit of browning on it from the smoke, but you won't get it with this type of smoker. They used a different type of smoker back then. So you get the flavor, but you don't get all that color from the smoke usually. But it'll take just a little while, but we're rocking just a little under 150, about 140 degrees, and so we'll let this set for a little while and smoke and come right back to it. And this is just a judgment deal. Right now I got a good smoke. I'm just gonna let it set. I could have taken it off if I was just going to eat it. By an hour or two, it was already cooked. It was done. I could have ate it, but I'm wanting it to be a little bit more dried out and everything, because it's going into a dip. So it's a judgment call. Alright, it's about 9:30 at night. Got good smoke still coming on. I'm going to see how this looks. Oh my goodness. That looks good. Alright. That's all cooked all the way through. Alright. I'll take these off. And we'll put them on a sheet tray and bring them inside. This is going to be very similar to the Alabama sauce in many ways. So we're starting off with half cup of mayonnaise. By the way, we always use blue plate mayonnaise, Duke's. That is not from this area. That's imposter. That's an abomination. We take the other half of our lemon and squeeze it in here. Teaspoon onion powder. Teaspoon of Worcestershire sauce. Cayenne pepper, about 1/4 teaspoon, just to taste. Sea salt, again about 1/4 teaspoon to taste. Peppercorn medley grinder, again just 1/4 teaspoon or to taste. Again about 1/4 teaspoon of MSG. Of course, my wife, she said that she needs more than a quarter teaspoon to taste. I don't know, she didn't know why I kept saying to taste. She needed more than a quarter teaspoon. Alright, and then I've got 8 ounces of cream cheese. Now this is where we diverge from the Alabama white sauce. Now I'm going to put in about a half teaspoon of herbes de Provence. And I'm going to put in a half teaspoon of dill weed. Now we'll just mix this up and go from there. 3 mullet yielded roughly about 2 cups of meat. So I'm going to put that into the dip and mix it up. I'm going to add a little bit more cayenne pepper. I'm going to also add in about a teaspoon of Cajun seasoning. I think it needs it. We're going to cover this plastic film and let this sit overnight in the refrigerator. Alright, this is my wife's plate. The dip, it gets extremely stiff after being in the refrigerator overnight. She's getting pita chips. I like Triscuits. She says she likes something with flavor. So anyway, I'll be back with you in just a moment. We'll talk about this and what I think about it. Well, I hope you enjoyed that video. Yeah. We didn't catch as many as we wanted to, but that area you really don't get much activity until after about 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, something like that. And we only had just a few hours, and most of that time was spent dodging rain. It was just really rough. So with the fish and cooking the fish, I've never been a real big fan of Alabama sauce. I've been trying different variations. When I take the horseradish out of it and go to Worcestershire sauce, it seems like something's missing. When I take the Worcestershire sauce out of it and just do horseradish, seems like something missing. Every single time it tastes more of Miracle Whip. And I don't like Miracle Whip. Now, my wife, she didn't mind it. She didn't think it was that bad. I didn't like it. I mean, it's okay. It's alright. I think it did more detraction than it did help or enhance any of the flavors for me. So I'm not going to... I think the Alabama white sauce should go back to the trailer hood that's from in Alabama. My personal opinion. Now, I did use the Chinese tallow wood, what we call popcorn tree here in Florida. That right there is a winning combination every single time. If you've not tried it and you have access to this type of wood, try it. It is phenomenal. Now, as for the mullet dip was okay. It was good. The wax myrtle, which is also called bayberry here. I can see why people tried other woods. It just doesn't really have a strong, smoky flavor. And it's almost like some of these barbecue spots that you go to where they say, oh, we smoked it for 12 hours and has hardly any smoke flavor. Just a wisp of smoke. And everybody talks about, oh, how great it is. And then you ask them, they're like, well, I really don't like smoked food, so I really love this barbecue place. Of course you do, because it don't taste like barbecue. Same thing with this. If you don't like smoked foods, then to get something smoked with wax myrtle would taste just fine. It tastes like nothing. I don't care for it. I mean, I want my food to taste good. So next time I do this, I'll probably use Chinese tallow, aka popcorn tree. That is my go-to. I just love it. It's got a good flavor. It's got a strong flavor. I like that. I think that it makes it better. Now, I did say something in the video about trying to find wax myrtle, and I said something that wasn't necessarily true. So I've got a bunch of videos that are coming out, and there's a lot of videos I'm working on still. And then there's some other issues that happened, and I'm going to have videos on that. And in the process, Ricky and I, we were out fishing. I had said something about that you never seem to see sumac with bayberry, wax myrtle. Sure enough, there was 2 or 3 spots along the river that I found them growing side by side. And I was like, that shows me what I know. But it's only along the river. I'm 40-something years old, so, I mean, I used to live in the woods. I mean, really, anytime foraging, hunting, I did all that. You would find, you know, your sumac in one area, you'd find your wax myrtle in another area. You never saw them together. So the fact, both of them would always be close to wet areas. They like water. They also like a lot of sunshine, but they won't be near the woods. So they're always kind of tucked back along wood line that's exposed. And that's, you know, because they're understory brush is what they are. And so it was kind of interesting that right there at the river where you get tons of sunlight, because you can see I got sunlight. I got a little bit too much sunlight. But right there, ready access to water, ready access to sunlight. Both of them were together. However, just a mile or so away, you didn't see that away from the water. And that tends to be more common. So I guess if you're at the water's edge, what I said isn't true. But away from the water's edge has been my experience. So still look for it, I guess, is what I'm trying to say, if you're looking for wax myrtle. But if you find sumac, you're probably not going to see wax myrtle for a while. You have to kind of keep walking. That's been my experience. Until the other day. So, I mean, nature makes a liar out of me every time I say something. But with that said, I'm going to let this be. I try to eat the good and the bad. And if I said something wrong, I try to correct myself. So you get it all. I'll probably have that fishing trip with Ricky out next week, and then I've got some other videos coming out. I've had some wild and crazy stuff happen in my life. There's some issues happening with my truck, with my house, a bunch of other stuff. I had some wacky fishing videos that I posted, boat trailer repairs, all that stuff. Well, that's all coming in now that I'm going to have that coming out in the next few weeks. So be on the lookout for it. As always, if you found this video to be entertaining or informative, hit that like, share, subscribe, all that stuff. It really does help out the channel. And I'll see you again next time. Bye.